Hey guys, it's Bonnie. Today I'm here to do the Bookish Academy Awards tag, which was originally created by Kayla from Bookadoodles, and I will leave her original video down below. I love the Academy Awards, and it's been about a month or so since they've been out. And so, just to bring back the spirit of them, I'm gonna do this tag. It's a really fun tag that takes the categories from the Academy Awards and applies them to books. I'm only going to use books that I have read last year, so this is kind of like, it's the 2016 Bookish Academy Awards, and it's nominating and appreciating the books that I read in 2015, just like the real Academy Awards do. So the first category is Best Actor and Best Actress, and I am going to announce these kind of together because the characters come from the same book. And I'm going with Kaz and Inej, Best Actor, Best Actress from Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. One of my favorite books of last year, if not my favorite. It was just so good, and these characters are incredible. Kaz and Inej, they both have such strong personalities, yet they also have so many insecurities, and they're just so beautiful and unique, and I love them so much. The next category is Best Cinematography, and for this, you're supposed to pick the best plot twist in a book. For this, I went with Air of Fire by Sarah J. Maas, just because the way this ended was really crazy and intense. That's what I remember, and I didn't really see anything else that would work for best plot twist. I could have picked Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard, but I really predicted that plot twist, so it wasn't the best to me. But this was just really dramatic and emotional and really good. The next category is Best Costume Design, which translates to the best book cover. For this, I ended up going with Ignite Me by Tahereh Mafi. I read the Shatter Me trilogy last year, and I mean, look at this cover. It's gorgeous. I mean, the eye, the makeup, the flowers growing out of the, eyelashes. It's just beautiful. Best cover redesign in history. I mean, so good. Next we have the category for Best Supporting Actor, which is your favorite kind of side character or just not main character from a book that is male. For this, I'm going with Cale Westfall from the Throne of Glass series. I don't know if he's technically a side character, but if we had an Academy, if this was a movie, Cale would probably be nominated for Best Supporting Actor, and I love Cale. He's like my fave in this book series. I love him so much. Or Cale, as I should say, but no, it's Cale. I don't care what anyone says. Next, of course, is Best Supporting Actress, and for this, I'm going with Cleo from the Fallen Kingdom series. Again, it's hard to clarify if Cleo's a supporting character, but in this book, all the characters kind of share the screen time as you would in a movie individually. So she's not really the main character because there's really no main character. There's 4 people. So I'm going with Cleo for Best Supporting Actress because she is just so great. Her character development throughout this series is so wonderful, and I just love her. Next, we have Best Original Screenplay, which is just the most unique book that you read. I don't know if this is the most unique book that I've ever read, but I just really loved the writing, and so I had to give it to Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. One of my favorite authors, one of my favorite books of last year. This book was so incredible. It was just, you couldn't put it down. It was creepy. It was just so disturbing and so good. And if you haven't read it, please read this book because it's amazing. The next category is Adapted Screenplay, which in our world is Best Book to Movie Adaptation. I don't remember how many book to movie adaptations I saw last year, but the obvious one that I know I saw is Mockingjay Part 2. The final movie in the Hunger Games series. I'm still sad about it. I'm not ready. I mean, it's already over, so I have to be ready. If you know me, you know Mockingjay isn't my favorite thing, which meant the movie wasn't my favorite thing. Out of all the Hunger Games movies, not my favorite, but it was still really good. It was true to the book, and it's just so emotional that it's over. The next category is Animated Feature, which is a book that you think would do really well as being an animated movie. For this, I'm going with Memoirs of an Imaginary Friend by Matthew Dix. I chose this because it's about an imaginary friend and this kid's imaginary friend, and I just feel like it could really work as an animated movie. It has a really important and kind of sad, not sad, kind of sad, but deep and important story. But because we are following the perspective of an imaginary friend, I think it would really work excellently as an animated movie. The next category is for Best Director, which you are supposed to pick your favorite author that you discovered this year for the very first time. For this, I'm going with Jenny Han. I first read Jenny Han's books in 2015. I actually started with the Summer I Turned Pretty trilogy, and then I read these books, and I plan to read all of her books in the future because I just really love her writing. It's so fast and fun and just, you can't put them down, and she is definitely the best writer, or one of the best writers that I discovered last year. The next category is visual effects, and for this you are supposed to pick the best action in a book. For this I have to go with Queen of Shadows. I just hit my face with the book. For this I have to go with Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas. While I did have problems with this book in terms of its characterization and where it went that way, the action was incredible, non-stop, one of the best plots of all of the books. It was so good, so crazy, so much cannot put downness. Next we have Best Musical Score. So for this you choose your favorite soundtrack or score from a book to movie adaptation that you watched. While I didn't read The Martian, I did love its soundtrack, so I'm gonna go ahead and go with The Martian for this one. That movie was great and had a great soundtrack. It was just really great. The next category is short film, which is the best novella that you read. I'm not sure if this is the only novellas that I read, but I think they are. So I'm just gonna go with The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas. Sorry to mention her again, but this is obviously the collection of novellas from the Throne of Glass series. I don't really have a favorite in here, but these were my favorite novellas. They were really good. Next we have Best Documentary, which is your favorite historical fiction or your favorite non-fiction book. Of course, for this, I had to go with Yes Please by Amy Poehler. I both listened to the audiobook and followed along as I read it, and it was so good. I love Amy Poehler. Her book was so funny, and she just gave really good advice, and I loved it. It was like my favorite memoir that I've ever read, and I highly suggest it. And finally, we have Best Picture, which is your favorite standalone read of the year. This is obviously going to Jellicoe Road by Melina Marchetta, or On the Jellicoe Road. I don't know why my copy doesn't have the on the part, but it is On the Jellicoe Road. This book was the most beautiful book ever. It was wonderfully written. The characters were incredible. The story was mystifying and wonderful. It's a little confusing at first, but when you really kind of dig in and get the whole story, it's just so wonderful, and I really need everyone to read it because it doesn't get enough love at all. So that was the Bookish Academy Awards tag. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what your best picture and what your best actor and actress was down below. I would love to know, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. Oh, my coloring book, no.